Today's episode, we have Diana Bowersox on, and she is a swim instructor. Number one, she builds her business strictly through referral. But number two, she has a no-nonsense approach to helping kids get to swimming and floating in a fast and in a safe way that they feel comfortable, that builds their confidence. I think you're going to want to listen to this episode, especially if you've ever considered swim lessons for your young one. And living here in Arizona, it's a no-brainer. Take a listen. Welcome. Thanks for being with us, Diana. I'm actually pumped today because I got two co-hosts today. So Ryan Hatcher, Nick, thanks for being with us. This is your first time being on the podcast too.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
So this is going to be so fun. Nick's on our team. So this is awesome. And Nick actually was the one that introduced us and said, you have to have her on the podcast. So we're super excited. Thanks for being here.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So you are a swim coach. You actually coach Nick's twins, which they are adorable, by the way. So we want to hear all of that, but we really love to start at the beginning, and we want to know a little bit about you. So where did you grow up, and how did you get into becoming a swim coach?
I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I was on the swim team my whole life.
Oh, nice.
And I just started teaching swim lessons when I was in high school, and I basically never stopped.
That's cool.
Yeah, then moving to Arizona, it's the perfect place to do it.
Yeah,
right.
Everybody has pools.
Right, yeah.
Well, in fact, I was going to say this. When we moved here in 2012, I purposely didn't want a house with a pool because my kids were 5, 3, and 2. And, 7, 5, and 2. And we were good with the community pool, but I saw in the news almost weekly where a child somewhere in this valley had drowned. And I'm like, golly. And I had a crazy 2-year-old. So no barrier was going to keep him out of it. Mm-hmm. But that's the importance of this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, people don't realize too, adults drown too.
Yeah.
They don't know that. It's crazy. So what brought you to Arizona?
I moved to Arizona just to get out of the awful Pittsburgh weather.
Okay.
Just to have some sunshine.
Yeah.
And I've always been a fish, and with all the water and pools and sunshine.
Yeah. Well, tell us about your business, and because you were sharing kind of some stuff off camera that you do that I think is cool and unique. So tell us about what it is that you do exactly.
I just teach private swim lessons of all ages, from 1.5-year-olds to adults. I've also coached a high school dive team here in Chandler, and I just travel to people's houses and teach their kids how to swim.
That's super awesome and unique because not everybody is able to do swim lessons at their own home.
Right.
I feel like you often have to go somewhere, go to a facility, go to someone else's house, but the fact that it can be done in your own home makes it so easy.
Easy and comfortable for the kids, too.
For sure.
They're a little bit more comfortable with me because obviously the pool is dangerous.
Yeah.
Strangers are dangerous. Put them together in one place.
Yeah.
So what do you do? How do you start? Talk us through, what does that process look like?
I think in the beginning, my first lesson with any child is just building trust, getting to know them. I usually have mom or dad outside with us the first lesson, but after that, I send them inside and I do my thing. I think when mom and dad are out of sight, out of mind, it helps. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It stops the crying and it stops the fear, but I think the most important thing for me is building trust with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that?
I'm a mom, so it's really easy for me, I think, to just kind of get to know each kid individually. Mm-hmm. Every kid learns differently. Some float right away, some refuse to, some, love the water, some hate it, some are scared, and some aren't.
I would have to say you're comforting, you're loving, but your teaching style is very controlled. Although the parents are not really out there in that learning environment, you can still watch through the windows and everything. And trust me, we do, and we observe a lot. And that's one thing that I respect a lot about how Diana facilitates the lessons is you're very controlled. She is consistent, just like our business is very consistent. That's key. You can't just swim on Monday and then get in 3 weeks later and swim again. Yeah. It needs to be consistent in order for the children to learn, correct?
Absolutely.
So how often do you do this?
I mean, for instance, I do Nick's twins twice a week. All last summer I did them, and they were terrified to even get in the hot tub with me. So we had to go in the little hot tub and hold them the whole time. And now, I mean, they're insane. Swimming
across the pool.
freestyle, across the pool, face in, floating. Yeah.
How long does it normally take?
You know, it really depends on
Yeah.
each child.
It's amazing.
Your kids were swimming last summer. Great.
So my kids were swimming last summer. I would have to say my daughter is a bit stronger of a swimmer. She is willing to take a little bit more risk and like trust herself and trust Diana. My son is a little bit more reluctant. So I would say my daughter was floating on her back and doing a little bit more than my son about a month ago. And now he's floating on his back and doing exactly what my daughter's doing. But one of the things that I noticed right off the bat with Diana when we started doing lessons with her is she taught them the fundamentals. Where do you go immediately if you fall in the pool? That's the side of the pool, right? Holding their breath if you fall under, and then coming up and being able to float and go directly to the side of the pool.
Yeah.
Which
Go ahead.
people will panic, and then that's when they drown.
Yeah.
So she really teaches the kids to stay calm and get to the safe place and then, scream for help or what have you. So she did a great job with that. And now the kids are pretty much going to graduate at the end of the summer, and we can't keep them out of the pool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen videos where these toddlers are thrown in and then they just they do it, right? And it freaks me out.
Absolutely. I mean, I work with them quite a bit before I do that to them, but I absolutely will take them and walk them around the pool and kind of like hip check them into the pool, and they figure it out. Yeah, because they need to know.
Do they still trust you after that?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
She did it towards the end of the summer last summer. And then I think maybe we've discussed, which I think is a wonderful practice. It might sound odd, but it's totally legit. Is before graduation they fall in the pool with their clothes on because nobody
And
drowns
shoes,
in
too.
their bathing suit.
No goggles, no shoes, not just totally unprepared. Yeah.
When I was a kid, as a Boy Scout, we had to do that swim test where you're in the water all fully clothed and you have to take your jeans off and turn them into a flotation device.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
That's
it was cool.
cool. That's cool.
It was cool.
Maybe I
but-
should implement that.
Yeah. If anybody's wearing jeans, shorts can't really help you that much.
That's hilarious.
I think it's really important for our business too to be aware almost every single client, either if they're selling their house has a pool or if they're looking for one, is considering having a house with a pool. And don't be afraid of it because your kids don't swim, because fear is what's going to cause the panic when they are around the water.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
So, always look out for the types of resources that are in your area, such as Diana, that can help, elevate that family experience, make sure that the kids are comfortable and safe, and that the family has, a good experience in that home.
Yeah, I think when a kid is confident as a swimmer, right, then there's other areas where that can transfer. But just being comfortable in the water is huge, right?
Absolutely, it's a super important life skill.
It really is.
I mean, how many parties do kids have they go to where there's a pool involved
Right.
or a lake or something?
Right.
Yeah, the other thing I think that people forget about is drowning is silent. And I remember our daughter, she was really little. We were at a huge pool party and she was in the pool right in front of us and just silently sinking, looking up at us. And my husband had to jump in and pull her out. She wasn't flailing. She wasn't, there was no sound. And she just was silently looking up at us as she was sinking because she was so little and didn't know what to do. And it was terrifying.
Well, we've all been at parties where we're talking and 5 minutes goes by like that.
Yeah.
And all it takes is 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Right? For them to go under. So.
Well, we were talking one day after the swim lessons with the twins, and you made a really good point, Diana. We were talking about how recently there was a drowning at a school swim area, right? And, a lot of the people on the news were saying, well, they need to have more lifeguards there. And you said, it's not the lifeguard's responsibility, it's the parents. So taking your kid even to a public pool is still your responsibility to, one, watch your child and make sure that they can swim. But it's the lifeguards are there for safety, but it's not their primary responsibility.
You can't watch
to
every
child, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So, what do you
go
think
ahead.
about pool fences?
I think they're extremely important. I think it's really, I hate when I walk into a house where there's toddlers and there's no pool fence just because the parents just don't like the way they look.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, it's awful. It's absolutely preventable, and a fence is super important. I have a good friend of mine actually who had a fence up, and their daughter still was able to push a chair, climb over, and
That's
drown.
what I've heard, yeah.
Man.
I've heard those Catch a Kid nets are the best to have on the pool.
I mean, anything. A fence, a Catch a Kid net, a lock on the door, I mean, just everything.
What do you think about those body-shaped vests? What is I already know your opinion on them.
The puddle jumpers,
Puddle jumpers?
hate them.
What are those?
They're the flotation devices that kids wear that have like, they go around their body, but they also have like the water wing style. So they basically coach kids to swim horizontally rather than on their bellies.
Let's talk about swimming just in general. Like what are what's the proper way to swim?
On your belly with your face in, blowing bubbles, breathing to the side, arms out of the water. Just your normal freestyle stroke, face in.
What did you swim competitively?
I swam freestyle and butterfly, and I was
Okay.
also a diver.
Oh,
Yeah.
like high dive?
Well, 3 meter in high school, yeah.
Nice.
I coached the Chandler High dive team for 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think you gravitate towards swimming versus other sports? And
Oh gosh, I don't know. I've just, ever since I was a little kid, I've just been in water all the time.
are your
Just
kids
a fish.
swimmers?
Yeah. They don't swim on a swim team or anything. They refuse, but they love the pool.
Oh, really?
They're both athletes, but they do not swim, unfortunately.
How old are your kids?
13. My son's 13 and my daughter's 11.
Okay.
Or 10, almost 11.
What I think, so this is something, this is like me getting kind of nerdy. Sorry, Ian, I didn't mean to bump that. I think that when you play sports, and especially if you do anything competitively, there are so many like lessons that you can take from that and apply into life.
Absolutely.
For sure.
What do you think? What are some?
Oh, I agree with that 100%. Both of my kids are extremely competitive athletes. My son does freestyle BMX, and my daughter does gymnastics. And I always say that gymnastics is very expensive, and I always say I don't pay for her to learn how to do flips. I pay for her to learn how to be on a team and have discipline and structure and all of those wonderful things that she's learning through gymnastics. And my son also with BMX, the perseverance and the determination, and I mean, you've seen. So
Yeah, I love that.
it's so important.
That, yeah, I mean, Ryan, you're a big athlete. You played sports growing up.
I mean, I tell my kids I could talk all day about lessons I learned growing up as an athlete or student athlete that applied to my life today, that I think about today
Oh, absolutely.
in business, in relationships. I mean, all that.
Okay, give us a couple.
Well, you said perseverance. That's probably the biggest one. Like, what do you do when you get punched in the face?
Right.
What do you do when life hits you in the face? Your business isn't functioning the way you want it to, or you have an issue in your personal life, like with a family member. What are you going to do? You can't just quit.
My son actually was diagnosed with a heart condition about 1.5 years ago, and he was told he'll never ride his bike again.
Wow.
And he got an ICD and a pacemaker put in his chest, and his cardiologist cleared him to ride, and he's right back
That's
to
awesome.
flipping his bike like a crazy person.
That's
and
awesome.
he just
That's
pushed
awesome.
right through
Yeah.
it. So absolutely, the perseverance is huge.
And you said teamwork. I mean, how would our team be different
Oh,
if,
for sure.
if we didn't have studs that know how to work together and collaborate?
Right, that were each important
Yeah.
and valuable, right? And when
Every
you're on
role,
a team,
right?
Yeah.
So I 100% agree. And there's a difference between being really good at a single, like an individual sport and a team sport too, right? You learn different skills. I mean, I can go on and on and on. So, but 100% agree.
I just think water safety is super important, and I agree with you. I think that if someone's not willing to, my personal opinion is if you're not willing to invest in teaching your kids how to swim, that's a lack of responsibility, and maybe you shouldn't have kids. Because that is your
It's like a
responsibility.
mic drop.
Yeah.
That's your responsibility as a parent to make sure your children are safe, educated in all facets of life, and given opportunities to learn and grow. And water safety, especially here in Arizona, is critical for someone to be able to learn and grow and be healthy.
Yeah, I would add, I still think that it's never just like a one and done, right? Like you still have to be vigilant, watch your kids around water. I mean,
Because accidents happen.
Well, absolutely. We've had kids on the high school swim team during practice, avid swimmers, something happens and somebody has to jump in and save them.
Yeah.
It's happened before.
Or they run and they fall and hit their head and now they're in the water unconscious.
Right.
I mean, that can still happen.
Absolutely. And I think also it's the private swim lessons that I do are so much more aggressive, and they seem to be a little bit more expensive, but in the long run they're not. These big swim schools just have the kids swimming to the wall, kicking to the wall, and it's just a waste of time and money. So I think, I'm sure you would agree. It was an investment, but
it's an investment well worth it.
Yeah.
We did the swim school, trotting around the water in the pool, singing songs, and the whole process of getting to the school, getting the 2 kids ready and in their swimsuits, getting to the school and getting in the pool was longer than the swim lesson itself. So maybe those are nice if you just want to play with your baby in the pool for a little bit. But as far as actively learning water safety, it needs to be, I think, exclusive either at a swim coach's home, your home. I think that, like you hit the nail on the head with the comfort level. If I loved the fact that you came to our house where the kids
that is awesome.
Are comfortable.
Super nice. Yeah.
They're familiar with the pool and everything.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, circling back to what you mentioned a little bit ago, Janine, it goes beyond just learning how to swim. I think there are some people that might assume like, oh, my kids know how to swim now, we can take down the pool fence. Not necessarily. That serves a purpose, right? Because if you have little kids in your family, you might have people that bring their little kids over. So it doesn't hurt to leave those up for a couple more years. Yeah, they're okay looking now, but I think it's better than having, paramedics at your house.
Right. I'd rather look at my kid than.
Today's episode is sponsored by Stacey Williams with Bright Mortgage. Reach out to Stacey for all your home lending and refinance needs. He is the best. Thank you for watching the episode. Our podcast is called The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. And I love sharing these real life stories, but we are also in the real estate business. And so if you have any real estate needs, maybe you're thinking about buying or selling or wanting to invest in real estate, we would love to help you.
Well, I've seen thinking of those safety measures, besides the fences, I've seen the nets, right, where you pull the net and it's just like it looks like a big pirate ship net, or the blue ones where it covers it. And even though those probably look aesthetically better than a big fence, you can't miss not putting that back on every time.
Right.
One time is all it would take, right? So that's what would freak me out. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a popular opinion or not, but I just wouldn't want to have to deal with putting that on and off every time they wanted to get into the pool, even though it looks better. So
I agree with that 100%. I've actually had a family who had that net, but never put it on. And it was just rolled up, and their kids were terrified of the water.
Yeah, wow.
Absolutely terrified. So I agree.
So what do you do when somebody doesn't have a pool of their own and they want their kids to learn?
I'll go to a community pool. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
With the parent if they have a community pool, or sometimes I'll go to a neighbor's. I'll be in a cul-de-sac with all the neighbors, and I'll do all of them one at a time. I never do more than one child at a time.
Really?
Even siblings, they're always one at a time.
I haven't thought about this in years, but I remember having my swim lessons, and it was at a country club pool, and I remember looking at a picture of all these moms, and we were sitting on our moms' laps. So it was like this big group thing. And I vaguely remember a little bit of it, but
That's funny.
Totally different experience, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So individual, you and this kid.
One-on-one only, absolutely.
Cool.
So what about older kids? How do you teach them to swim? What does that look like?
I've done older kids and I've done adults, and it's really just everybody's skill level. I've had adults who have never been in the water before.
Wow.
And I've taught them how to float. And
Were they scared to death?
absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. But I teach them just like I do the kids.
Is the floating like a key piece?
It is. I like to teach kids to be able to float instantly. A lot of kids, your kids hated floating. So there's definitely kids that refuse to go on their back. So my main focus is if you fall in, you get to the wall.
Okay.
But eventually floating, absolutely, because if you're swimming in the pool and you can't get to a wall, you need to be able to flip onto your back and
I have
take a
to
break.
know, are there like tips to floating? Like my husband can't float, but he can swim.
You know what? I've heard so many adults say that. The only thing I can say is to put your chin all the way up to the sky.
Okay.
And just, I don't know, relax. I think it's more
you.
about relaxing.
Is it?
Which is so difficult for little kids to get them to relax in the pool.
It's so cute though when they are, because they look like little starfish out there.
So cute. And there's some that will float instantly and some that will not.
Funny.
And I can tell on the first lesson if they're going to float or not.
Really?
I've been doing it long enough. It's pretty easy to tell.
What's the first lesson look like?
The first lesson is more just an assessment of the kid, getting to know them, getting to know their personality, kind of just figuring out if they can put their face in, if they can kick their feet, how they look in the water, talking to mom, having, interaction with like mom handing the child to me so that the child understands that mom trusts me. So
Have you ever tracked, I'm just curious, have you ever tracked how many lessons you've done?
oh God, no.
Total?
Hundreds.
Hundreds and hundreds.
Hundreds. I mean, I've taught all of my friends' kids.
Yeah.
I've taught a lot of lessons.
How many sessions is it on average, like from start to finish?
I mean, again, it's just, people ask me that all the time. I don't have a specific number. It's really up to the child.
How they're doing.
I have a little 2-year-old that I'm doing right now who's swimming perfect freestyle within 8 lessons.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he's a little fish.
Yeah.
But then I have some that are older that have been in lessons for, all summer. But I can say that I've never, ever had an issue getting someone to swim.
That's
cool.
cool.
There's never been one that has not.
So what triggers graduation from the program? What do they have to do?
When do you feel comfortable? Because you've made a couple comments like you think that at the end of this summer the kids will graduate.
I mean, both kids are so strong. They're strong swimmers. They can get across the pool. They swim correctly with their face in the water. They blow their bubbles. They can go to the bottom and pick something up and bring it to the side, and they can float.
Okay.
So.
And then what about like refreshers? Is that
I
important?
definitely do refreshers. I'll go once or twice, the following summer and hop in the pool with them because little ones don't remember all the time, but it takes just 1 or 2 lessons to get them right back.
That's awesome. Is there anything that you advise parents to do when swimming with their kids? Like,
I always give parents tips when I leave. I think I've done that for you guys. Just instead of having, a lot of parents like to have kids swim back and forth to another adult, and I hate that. I always tell the parents to make the kids swim to the wall because the wall will never move. And also climbing out. A lot of the swim schools do like the monkey climbs to get to the step. I always make it a point to have the kids learn how to climb out of the pool right where they're at.
Like elbow. Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because we recently went to Hawaii and we were at the pool at the hotel, and my son a couple different times was making his way out of the pool, and other adults in the pool were like, "Is this your child? Do you want me to help him?" And I said, No. I was like, he can do it, just give him a minute, and he would do it every single time. So I was really happy to see that he's applying it in like a different environment, which is really kind of the
And
key.
it's probably super cool to watch him do it and just let him figure it out.
And
even though the other parents probably think you're a bad parent.
Oh, it's hilarious to watch other parents their reactions to little ones that just. I remember I got it all the time with my little kids when they were 2 years old, running and jumping into the pool. Everybody just looked at me like I was crazy.
Right.
Well, they think that this one particular woman, she'd asked the family next to us if it was their son. I said, "No, it's mine." And then her facial expression kind of looked like, "And you're gonna let him struggle?" I'm like, "Yeah, because he needs to struggle a little bit, and he's got it. He knows what he's doing, and he got out of the pool fine." But to always like take him out himself, he's not going to learn it.
Right.
Isn't that a life lesson
that's one
right
of the
there?
problems with the world today.
Let them struggle a little bit. Absolutely.
And he was fine. He had no problem. He wasn't crying. No panic. It just appeared to her like I was not, helping him, and I wasn't, because he needed to do it himself.
Yeah.
I've had parents watch me through the window also, and I'll let them struggle. I'll let them go underneath the water for a little bit of time, but they'll figure it out. I think that's important.
The parents are freaking out. It's so awesome.
I think
they do. They do, but then in the end they love it.
I think that the comfort level is instant with you. It was really important for us to get a swim coach immediately when we had a home that had a pool. And it was really difficult to identify somebody. And so just really by word of mouth, and I don't want other families to have to rely on word of mouth. That's why I think this podcast was super important to do. So, I know that you are always busy doing swim lessons, and you take, requests and names down, and you always respond to text messages and phone calls regarding this topic. So I would encourage other people that are looking for a swim coach to do the same and reach out to you, because you shouldn't have to rely on a neighbor or a friend or a family member to find someone for you when we can provide that person ourselves.
Yeah, I think there's a cool business lesson here too. I mean, you've done this so many times that you have an authoritative type demeanor about it, right?
Yeah.
You have credibility. So when you're talking to the parents and you're telling them, hey, I'm going to let them struggle, be okay with that.
Right.
You know?
And I let every parent know up front when they reach out to me for swim lessons, they're all word of mouth, absolutely. But I do let everybody know that I am aggressive with it. I'm not going to waste their time, money, or let the kids.
Right. It's not just fun.
It's not
playtime. Yeah.
No, they're going to learn how to swim and they're going to do it fast.
That's awesome.
I mean, we've had numerous friends and family members see the kids in the pool last summer and this summer, and they're just like, oh my gosh, they swim so good. And I'm like, well, they're not babies anymore, and they really should be able to swim. I mean,
How old are they?
They're 3.5.
Yeah, so
it's definitely appropriate timing. But you know, babies themselves. Do you ever do lessons for babies to expose them, or what age?
I do. I typically do start around a year and a half.
Oh, year and a half. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's good because just because you don't have a pool doesn't mean you're not going to be around other people's homes that have pools. So having your kids in lessons regardless is so important.
Right.
Because it's not going to happen typically when you're super present, right? Maybe it is when they're at a friend's house or whatever.
Right.
So good to do that.
I mean, it's a survival skill.
Right? A life lesson.
So do you advertise, or is it word of mouth?
I don't
It's word of
advertise.
mouth,
It's all word of mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you
hopefully
have to
we'll
do
get
a
you
good
busy.
job
Yeah.
if people are telling others about you. So that's great.
It reminds me of someone else I know.
Do you have like a Google business page and stuff like that for people to write reviews?
I don't.
Okay.
I should, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
You don't need it.
I unfortunately have to turn down so many lessons because I do have a full-time job and I do have 2 kids. So I can only fit in so many lessons a week. But I think I'm up to like almost 40 lessons a week I do.
That's amazing.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: for somebody that may be listening that wants to do what you do, what would you recommend? Like, let's say it's a teenage girl or boy that swims and loves the water and wants to, teach.
You know,
kids
I
how to
think
swim.
you also have to. It's really important to like kids, and to have a little bit of patience. I'm not the most patient with my own kids, but I have actually told several kids, teenagers that are on the swim team, that it would be great for them to teach swim lessons if they already know the fundamentals and if they're good with kids. It's not difficult. I think the biggest thing for me that helps me is, aside from my experience in the water, is that I'm a mom and I can be aggressive and I can be a little bit more controlling with the kids and kind of figure out their personalities. And I think I've had to put sweet little Blair in her place a few times. But
I think it's also key, Ryan, you had said, how does like a young adult, a teenager get into this? They have to look at it as it's not a job. Because I think that's something that you could attest to. If this was just a job, you wouldn't be doing it since high school. You really have a passion for making sure that people learn how to swim and they're safe around water. And I think that really comes out in your lessons. It is not a job
absolutely
for you.
a passion. It is definitely not a job for me.
Yeah.
And I love that you said you gotta love kids.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. You have to. I also, I have CPR certifications, lifeguarding certifications. So to have all of that is super important too. It also gives the parents a little bit more of a level of comfort and trust with me.
If my daughter decided that, hey, I want to do this, I'd be like, go work with somebody first. Like, learn how to do it. Like, there's no way I would.
Yeah. I learned in high school when I was, 15, 16, and we learned through the Red Cross and just did the typical group lessons. And I just incorporated that as I got older.
She definitely has a routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to switch gears just ever so slightly. Swimming is like just a really good sport, period. Can you talk about some of the benefits of just swimming in general? Like, I know it's good on your joints, like especially older people, like get in the water and swim. What are your thoughts on that?
It is. I actually used to teach an aqua size class too for older adults.
Yeah.
But it's so good for your joints. It's the best exercise you could do. It's a full body workout.
Yeah.
It's really, And again, I just keep going back to life skill.
Yes.
I mean, we have all the lakes here in Arizona. There's
Yeah.
so many accidents that happen,
Yes.
and you could be the strongest swimmer and still go down.
Speaking of that, one of my friends, they have a boat as a family, and had a bunch of kids on the boat, and this crazy freak storm hit, and they were caught in it, and they ended up capsizing. That boat was ruined, and this family and these other kids had to go swim somewhere, and they had life preservers on, right? But that's a real situation,
Absolutely.
and why would you ever be on that water not knowing how to swim?
Right.
So that I was like, wow, that's pretty eye-opening.
Yeah.
That can happen.
Yeah.
I think that to your point, you know, just in all other facets of life, like if you have an injury or you're trying to lose weight, you know, water, you know, helps that because it alleviates the pressure on the joints.
Yeah.
And it also puts a little, you know, resistance towards your body without being too much.
Totally.
So yeah, I
love
would
that.
agree.
Just swim laps, right?
Yeah.
Get your exercise in. It's good. And then when it's so hot here, it's always nice to get out in the water.
Yeah.
Just go tread some water for an hour.
Well, what didn't we ask you that we should have?
I don't know.
If someone wants to contact you, this summer is kind of, you know, wrapping up here in the next month or two. So as seasons go, like if someone has a heated pool, are you open to that, or should they contact you maybe this year for next year?
That's actually a great point. A lot of people stop swim lessons when summer's over, but as you know, living in Arizona, the pools never close. There's never a cover put on the pool. Drownings still happen all the time in the winter. And if you can heat your pool and you need swim lessons, I absolutely would still do it. I do lessons year round.
Awesome. That's
Whether
good
I
to
go
know.
to a gym pool or a community pool or parents that heat their pool.
Yeah,
It's
that's
still
awesome.
super important.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Well, we like to end with a little speed round. So are you up for some rapid fire questions?
Sure.
Okay. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite drink?
Iced tea.
Favorite food?
Pasta.
Oh, do you have a favorite sound?
Waves crash.
I was going to
Yes.
say that.
Yeah.
It's probably waves.
What about a favorite book?
I'm reading right now, Let Them.
Oh,
I like
nice.
that
By
one.
Mel Robbins.
Mel
Yeah.
Robbins.
We haven't had anyone say that one yet,
No,
but
yeah.
that's a good one. What about a favorite podcast? Do you listen to podcasts?
I don't listen to podcasts.
No? Okay.
I should. Actually,
should.
I lied. Andy Frisella is a good one.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like Andy Frisella.
Okay. And then last but not least, do you have a favorite vacation?
Anywhere with a beach.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Do you have a favorite twin?
Ah,
No.
No, I don't.
that's awesome. Thanks for being with us and sharing.
thank
And we
you.
hope that people listen, they're inspired, and want to reach out to you because it is so important here in the Valley with
Absolutely.
so many people having pools and just always being out and about in water. So thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Diana.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Real Deal podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, and you can follow us on social media at the Home Selling Team AZ.